Welcome to this morning's devotion, which I've called Overflow. And we're reading from John's Gospel, chapter 21, beginning at verse 1. Afterwards, Jesus appeared again to his disciples by the Sea of Tiberias. It happened this way. Simon Peter, Thomas called Didymus, Nathanael from Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and the two other disciples were together. "I'm going out to fish," Simon Peter told them, and they said, "We'll go with you." So they went out and got into the boat, but that night they caught nothing. Early in the morning, Jesus stood on the shore, but the disciples did not recognize it was Jesus. He called out to them, "Friends, haven't you any fish?" "No," they answered. He said, "Throw your net out on the right side of the boat and you will find some." When they did, they were unable to haul the net in because of the large number of fish. Then the disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, "It is the Lord!" As soon as Peter heard him say this, "It is the Lord," he wrapped his outer garment around him, for he had taken it off, and jumped into the water. The other disciples followed in the boat, towing the net full of fish, for they were not far from the shore, about 100 yards. When they landed, they saw a fire burning, coals, and there were fish on it, and some bread. Jesus said to them, "Bring some of the fish you've caught." Simon Peter climbed aboard and dragged the net ashore. It was full of large fish, 153, but even with so many the net was not torn. Jesus said to them, "Come and have breakfast." For me, this passage is full of overflow. There's been lots of different interpretations by preachers over the year. Why were they going fishing? Were they going back to what they once knew? I think simply Peter wanted to go fishing, and the others did with him. But what we notice, of course, is that they'd fished all night and there were no fish, until this voice shouts from the shore, "Have you caught any fish?" "No." And then the voice shouts, "Throw your net on the right side of the boat and you will find some." And it's in responding to the voice that they do this, and then they find this magnificent catch of fish. And what I want us to notice first of all, it is in the miraculous, it's in the obeying of the instruction, and then what happened, that John realizes it's the Lord. "It's the Lord," he shouts. Now, apart from the generous catch of fish, I like to focus on the generousness of John, because he can't but help declare it's the Lord. But he knows who he's with. He's with Peter, the one who is incredibly impulsive. And he knows that Peter, even just in saying that, is going to be right in that water, heading toward Jesus. And that's what Peter does. So I love the generosity of John's declaration without thought for himself that he's not the first one to reach Jesus. He just declares, "It is the Lord." And so, of course, we see this magnificent catch of fish, that the nets are so full but they will not break. These guys have been fishing all night in the dark, and then when the fullness, the blessing comes, it is in abundance, and their nets have not broken. And I think that's an encouragement for us at this time, that even in this time the Lord wants to overflow, to give us an overflow of blessing. If we'll hear his voice and will obey, we will see the miraculous, and we will see that our Lord is generous. And then finally, the thing to point out is that Jesus had already cooked some fish. Now he says, "Go and bring some of the fish that you've caught," and that becomes a celebration breakfast. But Jesus has provided all that they need, the overflow, and they celebrate, they have a joyous time together. So for us today, what is the voice of the Lord to you? What is he saying to you? How do you need to respond? Will you rejoice when your nets are full and not broken? And will you be like John? Simply declare, "It is the Lord," so that others run towards him. Lord, thank you for your overflow. Thank you for the overflow of your generosity, for all that you are and all that you bless us with. Lord, enable us to be a people who hear you, respond to you, know your power. Enable us to be a people who declare, "It is the Lord." Have a blessed day.